Hey, how's it going everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Vanilla Soup, and today we're going to be going over the Season 8 flight for the Master Chief Collection that just came out this last weekend. I'm going to be giving my thoughts and my feelings towards everything that's within the flight and what I think about it. Now, if there's something in this video that I touch on that you want to weigh in on, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. I super look forward to any of those conversations that we can have down there. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. We talk about everything Halo here, including news updates, but we overall just have a good time on this channel talk about anything and everything Halo. But with all of that out of the way, let's jump into what I think of Season 8 in the Master Chief Collection. Okay, so my overall feelings are very positive. I'm not going to shy away from that at all. I think that everything in this update is actually quite good and quite healthy for a game that's been around, let's be honest, for a very long time. Now, I understand when I say that there's going to be people on the other side of the fence that feel differently. And that's okay. I'm not saying that my opinion is the only right opinion. We all have our spectrum of thoughts and feelings towards this game and how 343 is handling the updates. Far be it from me to tell you that your opinion's wrong because you feel differently about the game we both love. At the end of the day, it's just that. It's a game we both love and we're both passionate about it. So even if I have some opinions that are contradictory to how you feel, that's okay. Again, just let me know and I'm happy to have those conversations. But like I said, overall, I think a lot of these features are really cool. I like the new armor. I like everything that comes with it. But overall, like I said, my feelings are pretty positive. There are a lot of small details too that I don't think really get a lot of attention, but that is because they're small details. For example, like the podium finishes at the end of every match. I think that's a really cool touch for the game. That's not something we've really seen outside of like Halo 5 with the team shots at the end and the beginning of the matches. So I think that's really cool to see your own customized stances and your own podium finish. If you did really well, you get recognized for that by everyone to see. And I think that's a really good touch. I also want to say that I think this is actually one of my favorite seasons to be added to the MCC. Now, I know that's probably a bit of a hot take considering how controversial this game is, but like I said, these are my opinions. I like everything in here and how it feels so fresh. And I'm not just talking about the armor cosmetics. I'm not talking about the effects on the visors or anything like that, but I love the map turf. I love Icebox, how it's been introduced here. I also really like how everything in this update is mostly original. Now, there are some things like Icebox, how that was kind of first introduced in El Dorito, and I think that's really great that they brought it over, but the cosmetics in general are all really new. The podium finishes at the end are really new. The flood firefight, which is probably one of the best features for fans of firefight to be added to the MCC ever, is a really cool addition. I love that they added that, and it's completely original. We haven't seen that before, and I think that's a really awesome thing that they did that. So those are my overall opinions. I want to go into like deeper detail on the three big pillars, which I know are going to boil down to new cosmetics, the map Icebox itself, and flood firefight. So first off, let's talk about new cosmetics. Overall, like I said at the beginning of the video, the cosmetics are fine to me. Now, I understand that there are going to be people that say, this doesn't even fit the Halo aesthetic. This does not feel Halo at all. I disagree. I do recognize that they don't appear in Halo. I do recognize that they don't look Halo inherently, but the devs at 3043 put a lot of time and effort clearly into making these fit within a Halo art style. Especially when you're playing in game, you can really tell that these are Halo armor cosmetics. And yes, they're a little bit wacky. Yes, they're a little bit out there sometimes, but overall, they fit just on the wackier side of things. And that's not just the helmets. Of course, the armors are kind of out there too. But we didn't complain when there was fire added to a Spartan's body. Like, that's pretty wacky. When there was green smoke coming off of them, when there was lightning coming off of them, I think just back then we all unanimously thought it was cool. No one really complained as far as I can remember. I'm not trying to dog on anyone that has different opinions. I'm just giving mine as I see them as well. The armors are really cool. The helmets are really cool. We talked about those, but those are probably the most controversial things. But some of the non-controversial things that I think are really good things to talk about are the back ornaments and the animated visors. There's more visors added that have this animated effect to it. My favorite is the dot armor. I really like that one, especially given on the right helmet. It can kind of make you look like you're from Daft Punk, which is just one step away from Tron. So you know I'm all about that Tron aesthetic though. But the back ornaments are really cool too. I know there are some people that are up in arms about those specifically, but we've had golf clubs, we've had axes, we've had battle shields. These aren't anything new considering what we've had to talk about in the past. So there is that to be put forward. But as much as I say they're cool, and while I say that it's kind of weird that we're complaining about it now and not in the past, I understand though. I can look at these objectively and say, okay, I understand why people may not like these cosmetics, and that's okay. I don't assume that you have to have every single opinion that I have as well. And also, if I were to give some words out to the community, I would just say this: don't assume everyone else on the other side of the opinion field is an extremist or is someone that is a whiny crybaby. That's just not true. I've had plenty of good conversations with people that are against these new Arbor cosmetics that can have a perfectly healthy and good conversation. So I don't think it's necessary that we shut people out and then we say, hey, no, we can't have this discussion. I've seen a lot of people just kind of be volatile and toxic towards other people, saying, oh, you're just crybabies that you don't like this new armor. It's free. And yeah, it's free. It's great content. I feel that way. I do think that it's great stuff. Yes, I think there's some fallacies on the other side of the table with how they complain now, but they don't complain earlier. But we're going to get into that because I think there's some merit. There is a line. Like I said, people have an opinion that is on a spectrum. Not everyone falls under, yes, I like, no, I don't like. There's a lot of people that are like, well, I kind of like, but I don't want them. And that's totally okay to feel that way. So if I was just going to put one phrase out there, it's just this: don't be toxic. We love Halo. We all love Halo. We wouldn't be having these passionate conversations if we didn't love Halo. So just try and see the other people's opinions. It's going to be okay. It's just a game. Which actually brings up one thing that I want to address with these new cosmetics, and that I've had actually presented to me that I think could be a healthy update or quality of life feature. And that's further increasing the amount of toggles. Now, I understand there's a dangerous line here. Like, at what point do you say there are too many toggles? What point is there something where you just turn off everything that 343 has put so much hard work and time into? And that's kind of lame, honestly, if we're just going to turn everything off that they work so hard for. I guess if you do want the vanilla MCC experience or the vanilla Halo 2, Halo 3 experience, whatever, if you just want to go back to the roots, I guess it's fine. Like, no one's going to say that you shouldn't be able to do that. But at the same time, I think there's credit to be given to how much love and care they've put into these new seasons, and I'd hate for all that work to just be switched off. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense, but that's just how I feel. I feel like there should be credit given, and I feel like there's some things that are just too far and kind of like a spit in the face to all the new effort and hard work that's gone into these new features. But one of the best recommendations that I've heard personally, and I think this actually would be a fantastic quality of life feature and make a lot of people happy, is season specific toggles. Maybe someone really likes the Fireteam Raven season and they love all the cosmetics that came along with it, so they can toggle that on and enjoy all of those cosmetics. But maybe they don't like Mythic. Maybe they don't like all the new Skeletor and Mouth of Sauron and stuff. I think that's a perfectly good option for these people to have that toggle to personalize what content they want in their experience. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about a game that people love, that's a series that's 20 years old, and I think it's very important that people can preserve that. And I think that's very important that people have that option to preserve it in the way that they would like to. I've talked about it before on the channel. Everyone has an idea of what their Halo game is, what Halo is to them. And it's never the same to anyone else. It's always their Halo game. And I think that's really cool and something really special that we find within the series, that everyone has their personal feelings towards Halo that makes Halo fantastic or great for them. And I think it's something that could be focused in on with toggles and having people focus in on what experience they want to get out of the Master Chief Collection. Because let's be honest, it is a 20-year-old series, and these games are getting up there with age, so it's not the end of the world if they just decide, hey, I don't want Mythic, but I really like Fireteam Raven cosmetics. Hey, I don't like the Halo Online stuff, but I like the Mythic stuff. I don't know if there's anyone that has that exact opinion, but you get what I'm saying here. All right, that's it for cosmetics. I wanted to just get all my thoughts and opinions out there because I also wanted to have this video serve as sort of a follow-up to my last video where I had a lot of good people give me some good feedback on what they think about the new season. So I wanted to address those concerns and talk about them here as well. So let's move on to Icebox, the new map. As you know, it's based off of turf that was found in Halo 2. This rearrangement of the map was originally found in El Dorado. It's the snow variant of turf. It's really just turf. I don't know how to explain that any better, but it's turf with some snow on it and some Halo 3 assets now, like the Halo 3 barricades and everything like that, which is cool. I think it's great. I think it's awesome, actually. It's an excellent fit to the Halo 3 sandbox and the Halo 3 arena experience. I think it's gonna be right at home with a lot of good custom games. I've never felt that turf was a very good team focused map. I feel like it has some balancing issues within the team play aspect, but for a free-for-all map, for anything that is done within customs, I think that this map has just so much to offer for playing and having fun. I think it's just a great map for those things. And while we have gotten new maps from Halo Online before, this map is definitely one that I feel like shines above the rest. I like Waterfall and Edge a lot, but this one does feel more Halo than those two if we're talking about things in this update that feel Halo. So how could you not say it feels Halo when it literally is just a reskin of an old Halo map? So I think it's great. This map is actually probably one of my favorite new additions to the Season 8. And I think it has just so much potential and so much fun to be had on it. Okay, so let's talk about the next thing, which is Flood Firefight. I'm going to say something probably a little bit controversial here. I don't really care for Firefight. I know that's so blasphemous to say, but as the years have gone on, I just have less fun shooting enemy NPCs. You know, I just don't have as much fun as I used to. Maybe Halo 5 burnt me out with Mythic Firefight. Actually, that's probably exactly what it was, actually. But I got rank 152, so I don't want to hear about it. But I will say Flood Firefight adds a whole new level of fun for me. Because, yes, it needs to be said, a lot of people wanted this because of a lot of people's enjoyment of Call of Duty Zombies. And I think that's fine. I think that that's fine that something like that gets carried over to the Halo franchise. The Flood just is a perfect shoe-in for that type of mode, especially with how customizable Firefight is. You can make this super intense, and you with your friends can have a ton of fun just fighting to survive, especially with ODST, where you're a little bit more vulnerable and you can, you know, rely less on shields and regeneration and stuff like that. So I think that this is actually a really fantastic addition as well. But I will say this, for me personally, as someone who doesn't like Firefight very much, this is going to make it so much better to do the Firefight challenges on the weekly challenges, because oh my gosh, I just hate doing those. I avoid them like the plague. I can't tell you how much I just don't like Firefight anymore. But I would totally hop on some Firefight challenges to do this, because I played it for a little bit and I had a lot of fun. And let's be honest, there's something special about the Flood and their creepiness, and just seeing them in a multiplayer mode is just really cool, and something that I can't wait to see in Infinite, because you know this is coming to Halo Infinite as well. And actually, that's something I also want to touch on, that everything in this update, and probably the last few updates actually, are all just really clear indicators that this season and a lot of the last few seasons were beta testing or flighting for Halo Infinite. Because there's a lot of features that are modern game features that weren't present, obviously, back in the day when these games came out. So I think it's a really cool way to test with the Halo community specifically, like what works and what doesn't work for Halo Infinite as they gear up to release that game, which is a 10-year plan, right? So they got to make some good content for us that's going to keep us engaged and entertained for 10 years. Not like Halo fans have any problem being entertained for 10 years, because us core Halo fans probably will never leave, right? Like, it's just going to be something that we stick with. Even if we don't like Halo at the time, we like another Halo, so we'll stick with Halo. So that's why I really like how MCC offers that option to just have the vanilla experience, like I mentioned before, and have your core Halo experience that you love in spades. I love that. So like Halo 5, a lot of people didn't like Halo 5, so they could just go back to MCC and it was a good time. But that's all my thoughts and opinions about the new season, guys. Let me know your thoughts on it all down below. I love to hear from you guys. I'm open to having these conversations with you if you feel differently, so definitely let me know in the comment section down below. And remember, guys, if you do enjoy the videos, definitely leave a like on the videos. It does help out a lot. And also, before I go, I really want to thank all my Patreons. You guys are amazing, especially my $25 a month ISO members, Joey Ferris and Mr. Pleb. You guys rock. You guys are amazing. But also, thank you so much to Nathaniel Reeder, our $50 a month user ranking member. You all are amazing, but Nathaniel, you are a cut above the rest, my friend. I salute you in the most Spartanist of ways. Spartanist? Spartanist a word? Alright, guys, but that's it for me today, guys. Until next time, I'll see you online. Vanilla Soup.